everyone. Thank you so much for coming to Save Your Tears podcast. It's been a hot ass minute. I have not uploaded in a really long time, and I'm so sorry about that. And I'm going to tell you all the tea. Okay? Oh my god. I'm currently recording this through the face as well. So, point is, I'm back. So we should be happy. Yay, we're here. Like, woohoo. Right? So, today's episode, I want to focus on individuality. And this episode was inspired by things that I went through this past month. And the more I talked about it with other people, therapists, psychologists, or even just everyday people getting a third, fourth, fifth perspective of a situation that I went through recently. And I think it really puts out this big picture of being like individuality and losing it in a relationship, right? So let's begin. Though I do want to say is that I'm so sorry that I've been on break. I've been really focusing on my job, and I noticed that I was overworking myself. So I decided to just take a step back, focus on my work and school, and then come back when I'm in a better mindset. But I'm going to try to be as consistent as possible because I miss doing this. This is so much fun for me, and I love giving wisdom and advice to people who need it, who don't have the money or funds or time to get these resources. And I am here for you, honey, right? So let's begin. But keep also in mind that I do have a YouTube channel now. Like, these episodes are going to start uploading on YouTube, so you can listen through YouTube Music or whatever. I don't know how the media, I try to put it as much as possible in platforms, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music. Like, we're on everything now, so let's keep that in mind. So let's begin. So, thank you. Anyways, I'm trying out the new sound effects, so let's try it. Sorry, it's a little bit much, but come on. You gotta feel the vibe. All right, so this situation was, this episode was inspired by things that I went through in my past or recently, where people tend to go into relationships and kind of lose themselves in relationships, right? So what I mean is that they kind of morph or become one with their partner or significant other, right? In their life. And they tend to neglect their own lives, right? So I was a person that used to do that with like 2 boyfriends of mine. And it actually put me in a very bad headspace. I kind of lost my own self. It has a lot to do with self-worth, but also my individual self, what I liked. I felt like I was morphed into something that I am not who I am. In my last relationship, that was like only a year, longest year of my entire life. I was judged for everything that I liked and everything that they liked. I kind of just accustomed myself to just focus on that. I didn't see friends. I didn't see family. Mind you, it was during pandemic, so that's why I did lived with this person. But I noticed that there was a change, and I started secluding myself. I started to just fall into this bubble, this mold that what they wanted me to be, and I'm not that, and I guess why that's part of the reason why it didn't work out. So this recent situation that happened to me, I'm not going to disclose any names. I just feel like it is very much what I'm going to be talking about today. And that is that I had an ex-best friend. We are no longer friends. He got a girlfriend, and I'm very happy. I want all my friends to find someone, a partner that they feel, whether it be male, female, binary, doesn't matter, whatever makes them happy. As long as it's not hurting anybody, I am all for it, because, as friends, you're supposed to support each other and support their decisions. And so I thought I did that. And one of the biggest issues that I seen, a pattern of behavior with this friend in particular, was where he would be like not desperate, but wanting a relationship so bad that he starts to kind of morph the mindset of the other. And to me, that's not healthy. So the situation at hand, I'm going to give you a little background, sip your tea. I got my tea over there, but I'm not going to try to grab it because it's too much work. But get ready. Here, I'm going to share some of my personal life. Ready? So basically, I had a best friend, and we were friends for a very long time. We started getting close around like 3 years, but we known each other for 7, right? And a part of me didn't want to talk about this because I didn't want to raise like a big drama or issues, but it's part of my life, and it has affected me recently. So we were friends for a very long time, and this person I considered family. Basically, the past few months, I felt like the last remaining months of our friendship, I felt that our friendship was not the same. I felt that I was neglected as a friend. I noticed that every time this person saw someone that they liked or had a crush on, or whatever that case may be, he kind of just strayed more focus on them and started neglecting the people around them, their friends, right? So, basically, I just noticed a change of his behavior every time he liked someone or he, had a crush on somebody. And I thought it was a little weird, and I always expressed that to him. I always expressed, hey, like, every time this happens, you end up getting hurt, But, I trusted in his word, and he moved along, and I was just going to be there as support. But the third time that happened, it actually led into a relationship, which I was very happy. I was very, very happy about it. They had a lot of issues getting together, and, he lost a lot of friends because of it, and I was defending them. It was like a whole spiel. Point is, I supported their friendship until I started seeing more behavior changes. And the behavior is that he was very happy. He was a very happy person, very wise. And he was a person that didn't hold on to anger and resentment. And those few months of us being friends was the last remaining months. It was really more so like he changed. Like he turned into like kind of like an angry person. He secluded himself. He was just going through it. And I feel that, he was going through a down point of his life. And it has nothing to do with the girl. I guess it was a lot to do with the loss of friends because of the girl. But and though that situation, I think it was ridiculous. It wasn't really her fault, so I'm not going to even dig deep into that because, that's the whole thing. My situation with this, it was more so his fault. I pin all the blame on this person more so than the girlfriend because this is you. I have issues with you. I have issues with your behavior. And this falls into the big picture of individuality. So I'm getting there. Basically, basically what happened is that he started to just, seclude himself, be to himself. The last I've spoke with him, we had a very deep conversation, and I was concerned for my best friend. I was concerned of being like, as a person who struggled with things mentally, the worst thing you can do to yourself is be by yourself. And I just wanted to check up on him and see if he's okay, if he needed something or anything like that. But at the same time, I was really just pushing away my feelings about the whole thing because I felt neglected by my friend. I felt like we weren't as close anymore. I tried to explain that to him, and he understood it, and he actually told me that he was just trying to heal and recover from a lot of things. And once he told me that and we resolved it, I moved forward. I stopped calling him. I stopped texting him. I let him do his own thing because some people cope with things differently, I guess. And then he proceeded to call me like maybe 2 weeks later saying that I was being distant. And I was like, no, I'm just giving you space. Like you told me. So I was just confused, and I didn't know where this all was coming from. Later on, basically, later on, the girlfriend did not like me for upsetting him and all this stuff when we had our issues. Not really issues, it's just like friends who, are not in the same page at the moment, and we're just going to talk it out, which we did, and it resolved at that very moment, and then, we moved along, and then she had an issue about it. Whatever, right? I don't know her, so basically when things started to just escalate, and as much as I tried to explain, it's like, we resolved our issues. Like, it isn't really about you, the girlfriend. It's my issues with him. What I tell him in confidence is something that I say between us both. I don't know you to tell you my feelings because I don't know you, right? And I only tell it to people that I trust, which is a normal human thing. And basically, it just turned into this huge shit. And basically, he pretty much agreed everything on her side and pretty much saw nothing wrong of what she's done. And particularly, I just, no, like, I felt like he was very like an open-minded, progressive person. I can simply just talk to him. But ever since he's been around this woman, he come across now in a kind of a negative and aggressive manner. He starts to just like pin everyone else the blame, and I'm not that type of person. I can admit when I'm wrong. I can admit that, there's things that I could have done better, but at the same time, I feel like people should be treated fairly. There is a balance in life, and the whole point is when you have a significant other, which I do have a significant other, you make a balance in life. Everyone in your life matter. Who you choose that you invest to matters, right? So the minute, with me, and I don't know if you guys can agree or not, with me, I make time for a lot of people. But if I wanted to make time for myself, I will make that known and I would do it, and people respect that, which I did in that scenario. And then I got called out for being MIA when I was like, whoa, you told me that you needed space and I gave you space and now you're coming at me. Like, make a choice. The inconsistency is too much. So, after that, with me, I make balance. If I feel that I needed time for myself, I would make that known. Hey guys, I need time for myself. Like, I even tell my boyfriend, hey, like recently, I even tell him, like, I need time for myself. Like, I need to like be home and just be by myself. And he totally understands, right? And as you should, as like either a boyfriend, friend, whatever, right? But you have to make that known. No one's a mind reader. So if you come to me with feelings that are alarming, I'm going to be nervous. And if I don't hear from you, I'm going to be scared. So I'm going to check up on you because I have human decency and I care about people. And especially my friends. But basically, it just feeds into that mindset of like, I saw some red flags, and those red flags were, change of behavior, inconsistency, lies, being kind of like on eggshells, and I felt that the friendship did not serve me anymore. I feel like at that point, like, I could not be friends with this person because they are adopting whatever the other person is feeling about me, which a lot of people would say, oh, Wendy, you probably did something bad to the girlfriend. Like, that's why she doesn't like you. She probably doesn't like you for a reason. The reason is because I made him cry unintentionally. And she doesn't like to be associated with people who make her boyfriend cry. First of all, this was the day, I guess, that the day that she's referencing to is the day where I confided in him about my feelings because I couldn't hold it in. It was like 3 times in a row. And I was like, listen, you don't get to just drop me. You don't get to treat me this way. You know, you gotta talk to me. You gotta let me know what's going on. And if you don't want to tell me, just be like, hey, I need time for myself, all this stuff. And I say, hey, like, just keep in mind that, you know, if you need someone, reach out, like, all this stuff. Because it's not good to be by yourself when you're struggling mentally. If you have people that can support you, why push them away? And that's my mindset, but maybe some people are different, right? And that's fine. But he got upset about what I've said, and so he cried. She was present, and she was like, nah. You know, the day after, he was like, we finally talked about it. And I was like, okay, I'll give you your space. Like, we resolved everything. Everything was fine. Everything was good. So I thought. Then she proceeded to block me on everything. And I was just like, then she told me it's because I made him cry. But I was like, yeah, but that was not my intention. I would never try to intentionally hurt someone. And I even say, like, you know, best friends fight. And sometimes between best friends, you know, feelings are involved. Like, feelings are involved, and sometimes it makes you cry. Like, I cried during that whole thing. I cried during COVID, and he wasn't there. Like, I cried by myself, and my boyfriend saw that. But he understands that best friends sometimes fight, and we talked about it. So, and everything was forgiven. Everything was understood from both ends. And you just doing that just are making things worse, in my opinion, and not moving things forward. So that's besides the point. So my whole spiel of sharing this story is because ever since she had that, kind of this idea in her head of being like, okay, like, you know, I don't want to be associated with this person. Or ever since, like, she kind of influenced his life in such a way, because in the end of the day, we all are influenced by the people around us. We make our own decisions in the end of the day. We make our judgment calls at the end of the day. But you also take consideration and influence from the people around you. So, for example, right, here's an example. Okay, I surround myself with people that respect me, that I respect back. Efforts that are given to me, you get back from me. People who understand, people who talk their issues, people who are responsible. Like, I put positive people, but not in a way of like a yes man. I put people that tell me what it is in a respectful way. And we talk about it and we move forward and grow. And it's just, these are the people I surround myself with. These are the people that you strive to have around you. You don't want people to bring you down, right? And help elevate you, and you help elevate them and have good memories and good times, you know. And even if when issues arise, which I have plenty friends where there was issues, but we're like sisters or best friends, like, it all falls under, like, okay, that understanding, that respect, that loyalty, the honesty. These are the kind of people that I want in my life, right? And I don't accept any less. And people probably be like, oh, that's unrealistic, oh, this and that. It's not. You set yourself in a standard. So let's say, okay, I have people in my life who are inconsistent, people who don't put a lot of the effort, people who I care about, but they don't tell me the full honest truth. What's going to happen? It's just going to add a lot of unhealthy situations in your life. You start to adopt these kind of behaviors. You start to be like, oh, if they're inconsistent, like it kind of stresses you out a little bit. And then some people be like, why are you so influenced by the people around you? Because that's human nature. Like, as much as you can sit there and say, I don't care what people think, I don't care what my friends say. I don't care. That's not true. Because the more you say I don't care, it means that you do. I hear everything from the people that dislike me, even this whole situation with my ex-friend and his girlfriend that don't like me. I hear everything that they are saying, and I not replay in my head, but I don't add it as my truth because I know what the situation is at hand. And here are the main points. The main points are: 1, I know my truth. 2, I did the best that I could in that very moment. 3, I came in with good intentions. I came in trying to resolve issues. I came in to have some understanding. They came in an aggressive, immature way. And the reason why I say that is because they were not coming in to resolve. They were not coming in to hear other people out. They were coming in to let their point across. And to me, that doesn't progress anything. That doesn't do anything. It's just you like to hear yourself talk at that point. I am a very progressive person. These are the kind of people that you want. So when people falter and become into the significant other, let's say influence behaviors, mindset, whatever, because it does happen to some degree. But when it becomes unhealthy, that's where there is a dynamic, a power dynamic, right? So, for instance, for him, and this girl I've noticed that he's becoming more aggressive. I noticed that he's starting to adopt behaviors or things that she's saying and see it as truth. And to me, some of the things that she's saying is like, girl, I outgrown you. Like, you are not in my level. I cannot, not in a way of I'm here and there. It's more so mindset, because I cannot, the things that were being said is just this feels like high school to me. And I don't have time for any of that. So what did I do? As much as I tried to resolve it, I recently tried to speak with him by himself, because particularly I don't want to surround myself with a girl like that. And he did not want to, because he wanted to respect his girlfriend, which is perfectly fine. I just felt that the closed-mindedness of being oh, I was the one who did absolutely everything wrong, where I feel that there is, when it comes to arguing, it's play of everybody. And what I mean by that is it's there's everyone's to blame at that point, right? And I feel like they both had their own share of how this whole thing escalated, and the fact that they don't see that, the fact that they're closed-minded and think that they're absolutely right to some degree, that shows me the kind of character they are. And what do? I eradicate anybody who tempers with my peace, who tempers with the things that I value, who tempers with the things that I consider, and those things that I value the most: honesty, loyalty, consideration for others. The people in my life, they're not yes men. The people in my life are honest and loyal, and they tell me what it is in a respectful way. And we progress each other and support each other as much as we can. They are not in that level, and they are slowly trying to get there, and hopefully they do. But I'm way ahead of that, and I don't want to invite that kind of thing in my life anymore. So I did try one more time, and it didn't work out, and which is fine, which hurts, which is normal. It's normal, right? You're human. You cry. That is normal, right? So, but I guess that story kind of feeds into what I even went through with boyfriends, where I kind of just secluded myself. I started adopting behaviors I wasn't so much of a drinker, and then my last relationship, we drank every day, because he loved drinking, he loved X, Y, and Z. We adopt behaviors from others. And I saw with my friend, as a peaceful person, turn into a person that I don't even know anymore. And I had to move forward, because they adopted behaviors from this significant other that I feel is very unhealthy. It's not healthy. It's not cool. Like it got to the point, like imagine someone telling you, oh, like she felt she was in a three-way relationship by how I was checking up on him. And I was like, me being like, hey man, everything okay? Oh, hey, are you good? Like, what's going on? I call him, are you okay? Because the last time I spoke with him, he was not in a good place. And as a friend, I'm going to check up on them, especially my best friend, who I consider family. So if you feel insecure about that, that is your insecurities. You saying like, feeling like a three-way relationship, that's your insecurity. And that to me, I do not want in my life. My life is a bunch of confident women, I don't care, I don't care, like, if my man has a girl best friend, like literally like hang out like all the time, like they're best friends. She's like 30, so it's like I don't care if she checks up on him. I don't care if they hang out. Like I trust my person, and I understand that they're best friends. Hello, like I was his best friend, so I was checking up on him. That's a normal freaking new human thing. I never knew that meant the way I did it was a three-way relationship. Like that to me was the most ridiculous thing I ever heard, and that has a lot to do with her insecurities and not mine. I was just being a good friend, and he didn't want me to do that. He could have just told me when he stopped checking up on me. Like that's it. But no, he didn't do that. He didn't tell me anything, and I was concerned. I was concerned by his silence because he is not the type of person that did that. And ever since he adopted all these behaviors, or he started being in this negative mindset, I saw that the person that I knew who was very peaceful turned into a person that I don't even know. And that is how this whole episode started here. Adopting behaviors. So how do you not succumb into your significant other? Remember your individuality. I think you have to remember how solid you are as a person. I think if you lack self-love, if you lack kind of discipline, you end up morphing into a other person to fill those voids. So those voids is not feeling fulfilled. Like you're not at the place where you are right now. You're not where you want to be. You have a void to be fulfilled. Let's say you don't get enough love. You gravitate towards this person and you become a yes man. You'd be like, yes, let's do that. Yeah, sure. I like that too. Oh my God. Yes. It's because you are so desperate for love that you start to like everything that this person, because you want them to love you. You want the positive reassurance. You want them to be praising you for liking the same thing, but you don't like it as much. You know what I mean? So that's the same kind of adopted behaviors that it means. So because you have voids into your heart and you have not filled that by yourself, because, even as my friend, I felt like he was very, single for a very long time, but I felt like he never really done the work to release the pains that he went through. And I feel like he didn't really do the work of filling those voids. And he was looking for girls and stuff like that to fill that love that he lacked. And I was like, no, love starts with you, and I think when I've learned in therapy and when I learned as psychologists, the reason why we do that is because it's very hard to face that. It's very hard to face and being by yourself. I learned to love myself during the summer of 2021. Yeah. I think that was the time where I was finally single and I felt happy for a moment. I was oh, I'm actually okay, And the more I try to progress, it's how do you fulfill those voids? Well, one, I think there's three factors. One, the emotional void. Two, the, life goal voids. And three, love, right? So emotional voids is lacking parent love, or lacking the feeling of emotions and moving on, like, or what else? Being angry all the time, or like for the, what's the second one? I forgot. The second one would be, career, the void of not being successful enough, the void of being like, I need, to have the best dollars or make the most successful business, and I'm not there. You have that void for money, right? Or last thing would be love. I didn't get a lot of love growing up. I felt like I have to prove for me to get love. I felt like I have to agree and do everything for my partner because that's how I get love. When all these things start with you. Hashtag you, right? And how you build that is with self-love. And you need to be by yourself. Now, I'm going to pick you up real quick because my legs are hurting. Sorry. So, how do you build self-love? Like, how do you do all that? It all really determines how you see yourself, right? So, let's say, like, I struggled with self-love for a very long time. I tried to crave or fill the voids of love where I lacked when I was younger and when I lacked in partnerships. And I chose partners that were not very healthy for me instead of being by myself and learning to love who I am and building me, So I always struggled being by myself, and because I'm scared to be by myself for my thoughts. Like, that's the whole point. So learning through therapy, building self-love is to change the victim mentality. All the bad things that happen to you, people tend to replay that pain over and over and over. And I think that was a problem with my ex-best friend. Like, they kept replaying the pain over and over. And they're like, yeah, I moved on. Like, I'm like, dude, shut up. Shut the fuck up. No, you didn't. You keep talking about it. Like, boy, bye, right? Like, you have not moved on, right? Moving on is coming to terms with it. Moving on is not holding all that resentment and pain and being angry about it. If I see the people that I don't like in the streets, like if I see my exes, I'll be like, there's still some pain left because there's some things that I still have to heal over. Or let's say if I see someone or my ex-best friend and his ex and his new girlfriend, I'll be like, there's still some pain in there because I need to process all of that fucking pain, and it's not easy. A lot of people have a hard time doing that, and it's not easy. It's very, very hard because it's facing things that you particularly don't want to face. For me, this instance, I felt like I was a bad friend. I felt like I failed. I feel like, like my mindset goes, I failed, another one just left my life, I'm nothing, like it's so easy to let go of me, like all this stuff. Stop. No. And you know what therapy taught me? Wendy, did you try to understand the other side? Yes. Wendy, did you try to talk with them and let them know and not become aggressive? Yes. Wendy, did you do the best you can at that very moment? Yes. Wendy, what are your standards? And do they align to what you need in your life right now? No. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure they're good people. It's just the behaviors is not in lining to what I need in my life. And what I need in my life is solid people, like consistent people who are honest, people who are loyal, so people who get shit done. Like, that's the type of energy that I like to be around because that influences me to be like, let's get shit done. Like, I'm that bitch. Like, fuck y'all, right? But it all starts with you. So I learned to love the parts of me where people tend to be like, it's a problem. So a lot of people told me that I'm aggressive. A lot of people told me that, I ask too many questions, or I put too much of a high standard, or that that I don't take mistakes and stuff like that. Or I'm too emotional, or I cry over dumb things, or overreact on some things. And I look back, and the more I explain these situations to even my therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist, like whatever the case may be, they tell me every single time. I always ask them, because I even do it to my therapist. I don't want a yes man. If you tell me if I did something wrong. And when I explain the situation, they tell me, no, Wendy, what you did was mature. It wasn't overreacting. In fact, they're the ones who became defensive because you have pinpointed an insecurity in their story. Every single time. The more that I doubt myself, the more I get reassured that, hey, no, don't think like that. You're not this, you're not that. You know what you wanted. You know what you wanted to do. It was coming from a good place. And I had to remind myself. So now I've learned to remind myself, Wendy, is this something that you are willing to accept and that makes you a bad person? No. Me being aggressive, it's, I guess, the way that I say things and being like, hey, I'm a no-nonsense chick. I do not tolerate disrespect. The way that I say things is very blunt. I'm going to tell you what it is, and maybe that's aggressive. I call it assertive. And listen, if you can't handle that, then you shouldn't be around me. Point blank, because the last thing I am is a yes man. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, because you should be hearing other perspectives. And maybe I hear that, hey, maybe I can be aggressive, and the way that I sound, the way that I do comes across that way. And sometimes I work on my delivery, but I know that I'm coming in with good intentions. I know that I'm coming in to tell you what you need to hear. If you're acting a certain way, if you're treating someone a certain way, a way that they don't deserve, I think I'm going to tell you that. If I feel like you're being dishonest, if I feel like you're making a mistake in regards to something that I know that you value, I'm going to tell you. But you are grown. You decide what you want to do. There's things that my friends done that I don't agree with, and I tell them, but they're grown. They're going to do whatever they're going to do, and they're going to learn on their own. If not, then maybe it'll turn out for the best. Cool. But I'm going to tell you how I feel, in the most respectful way as possible. So, a lot of my therapists call it my personality as CT. People just can't take it, But, the people that do is the people that I feel that elevates not my life, but adds such fruitfulness. And that's what you should feel with your friendships. That's what you should feel in your relationships. Adding into your individuality, what you like, what you enjoy, what you want to do. For me, I love this podcast, I love creating. I love making content. My individual self is I love flowers. I love being active. I love, my mindset is very strong. I'm not going to change who I am because of the people that I choose to be with. That's boring. Obviously we get some influence of being hey, advice, but in the end of the day, you make your own decisions. Don't lose yourself completely. You know what I mean? Because in the end of the day, when this person, let's say if you guys break up or you lose that friendship, you're going to be devastated. You're going to be so broken to the point where you're going to be oh my God, what am I going to do? This person was my whole world. And that is the problem. You need to be your whole world, Even if my boyfriend leaves me today, yeah, I'll be sad, but I won't be devastated because I know in the end of the day, I have me in the end of the day. I have the people that care about me, and though the circle is small, quantity over quality. Quality versus quantity. Yeah. So keep that in mind. Regardless of what happens, you need to build yourself up, even in a relationship. Like, I'm constantly building. And don't be like, oh, you mean like job wise, career wise. Oh my God, I do yoga. No, it's even like emotional building, like putting yourself in a better mindset, putting yourself in a mindset that's so solidified and strong that no one can hurt it. And you know who you are. And even if people tell you, oh, like you're this, you're that, you're too aggressive, you do that. No, it's you can't handle it. Get out of my face, right? I'm not changing because at the end of the day, I like who I am and I love who I am. And I am that person that's going to tell you, who's always going to be there for you, who's always going to be honest with you, who's 100% loyal. And I'm done of taking people's stuff. And you shouldn't have to bring yourself down just to keep someone in your life. No, if they decide to change because of another person, that's not the type of person you want in your life. Nah, I like consistency, honey, right? And those people who are in relationships where you feel that you lost your individuality, gain it back, man. Come on. They fell in love with you for a reason, and you can have advice and you can like certain things that they do, and maybe you like new things, but don't lose yourself, Find what makes you happy and make time for it. And don't forget the people that love you and care about you, who are there for you. Maybe I kind of lost track, and I'm not trying to talk shit or anything like that. I think this recent situation that happened to me, as much as it hurt me, I hope that it can bring perspective to you guys of being like what not to do and stuff like that. Because sometimes, my boyfriend even says like it's to be expected. Like when it's a joke when guys get girlfriends, they like fall off from the face of the planet, and I'm like, yeah, but not my friends. No, at least let me know, But I like consistency in my life, and this person was a best friend of mine, and I wish them nothing but the best and happiness. It's just in my life, their mindset, I can't deal with it. Like, I don't have patience for it at all, so thank you, next. But I don't see them as bad people. I see them as people that don't align of what I want in my life anymore, and so it's time to move on, right? And that's the whole point of finding your individual self and being solidified by yourself, because at least you have the mindset of being like, I don't need this in my life. And because I don't need this, I'm okay with walking away. Even if it hurts me, even if it's a long friendship, even if it's a relationship, you have so much love for yourself that you're like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. Like, no, it's time to go. You're not helping. You're not healthy for me right now. And you are just not it for me. And you realizing that for yourself, it's amazing. And you feel so much in your power. And I'm slowly getting there. So I hope that everyone enjoyed today's episode. I hope everyone had a great holiday, holy holiday, whatever you celebrate. Hope you guys had a good time. I'll be more consistent in episodes. And yeah, let's try to save some tears. Even if you disagree with me, I'm willing to hear, and I'm not going to come at you. Don't worry, I'm not going to yell at you. I like hearing all types of perspective, So moving forward, if you want to leave a message, you can always go to our website, which is Save Your Tears Podcast. It's on Instagram in the bio. And it's on my Instagram, which is in the bio. So you can follow us at Save Your Tears Podcast on Instagram, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Amazon Music. You call it. It's everywhere, honey. And please be kind to each other. Please be considerate for others. And most importantly, please be more considerate for yourself. And start treating yourself as the perfect person, whatever the case may be. Because for those out there, you're the love of your life. That's it. Period. So, with that being said, follow us, leave a comment, DM me, all that stuff. And with that, save your tears. Good damn. Bye.